mama's not home, and dad's a liar. I'm waiting alone, praying to my priest. People coming from the west just to hate the east. And I don't know what he said, but now he's dying on a cross and he's dead. A girl with pretty eyes, she tell me pretty lies, until I start to realize that it's me who's in with the different teens. Please, inside a hotel, tell me I can go to hell. That's what we already there, but we don't really care. Don't care, don't care, don't care. Mom came home soon last night just to start a fight with Dad. And I sat alone in the room, crying to see what we had. Nuclear family just went and explode. Hiroshima is a goal. Nothing left to live alone. Find a family that I can call my own. I don't care. 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 Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, the Wrestling Diaries proudly brings to you its host extraordinaire, Mitchell Roulane. This is, like I said before, the Wrestling Diaries, the podcast show for the average Joe, the inspiration station, blue-collar conversation. What do people in regular society wrestle with? You know, it's not just about that. Like, I sit and talk to people about what's going on in their lives and all that stuff, and then we get to the nitty-gritty, the deep, good, juicy details. Check us out on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Pocket Cast, and a plethora of other platforms that host audio podcasts. Actually, now our video content, I do the little shtick for our video content. Go to YouTube, like, share, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell right there for more content. We release once a week. What I was going to say is, now our video content is exclusively, not exclusively, but also on Spotify. So we'll probably still do YouTube for a little while, but eventually, I don't know, we might transition to just doing video on Spotify. Because I mean, you know, I don't know if we'll keep going with YouTube. But anyways, yeah. So if you want to watch the video on Spotify as you're listening to it, or listen to it and watch the video, like do whatever. But it's great. It's awesome. Video content on Spotify looks really cool. I like it. We like it. So today I have a special guest on who is practically a total stranger. Not fully, but, you know, more or less. Someone I just met out in public. And, you know, I gave him a business card. And here he is, ladies and gentlemen. What's your last name?
Stewart. But you can just call me Gatsby.
Gatsby?
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, Gatsby! Yeah. And the crowd roars and goes wild. What's up, Gatsby? What's up with that nickname? What's the nickname about?
It came from my favorite book,
The Great Gatsby.
Yeah,
of course. Why do you like that book?
Well, it personally gives me the idea that's like everybody is so flawed with their reasoning. It's like everyone wants to go back to their years of being great. Like The Great Gatsby is all just it's seen from the point of view of Nick telling like all dysfunctional family and everyone's going around that area. I was like, man, this just sounds like everybody in everywhere. And Gatsby is somebody I really glommed off to because like I'm a very altruistic person. It's just needs and necessary, not really necessary. But sometimes I find myself just looking back in the past, like, man, maybe I should have did something somewhere else. I'm just trying to search for that green light.
Nice. Did you see the movie with Leonardo DiCaprio in it?
Yeah, it's awesome.
You like it?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Hey, we don't say this podcast.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's okay.
Freaking awesome.
No, I'm joking.
I was gonna say,
I just said it. That was the joke.
Oh man,
Matt will bleep that out.
Matt like to bleep it out for me.
So how long have you had that nickname since like school when you because was it like a required I don't know where you went to school at but where I went to school it was one of the I think in middle school or junior high it was one of my literature classes is I had to do a report on the Great Gatsby. So was that the same or you just read a lot and you pick that up and you're like oh I like this.
I read a lot. That's what it was. I actually did literally no schoolwork ever.
Same here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do. Or if I did my homework, I would do it like on the bus on the way to school. If I did it at all.
Often or not, people forget I was in class and I just passed because I was asleep. It's a hilarious thing. Like, I'll do the work. It's just that since I had such bad handwriting, it was like chicken scratch mixed with cursive. The teacher's like, oh, I guess he did it. But actually, I was just like, there we go. I'm just taking a nap.
That's so funny. I knew a guy in school who, I mean, he didn't do anything. He just made zeros, Fs, you name it. But the teacher, like, I think he had failed already or held back once before. And he had like the same math teacher for like 2 or 3 years in a row. And so this time the teacher was just like, he's like, look, you're not staying in my class. He told all of us friends, the teacher pulled him aside. He was like, look, he's like, you ain't doing shit in my class. You're not doing nothing. Look, I'm going to pass you because you ain't coming back here next year. So he passed him.
That's so great.
And I was like, I feel like isn't that against like the rules?
Oh no, you must not know the Alabama school system is great.
Board of Education come after the guy.
Oh yeah, this is
Pass
the
this
best
guy
one.
legally. Yeah, I'll never forget that. I was like, man, damn, that's pretty messed up. Your teacher doesn't like you that much.
She's going to pass.
She's going to pass you to get you out of there.
Yeah, my best friend was held back because he broke a computer when he was in the 3rd grade.
Just because he broke one?
Yeah, he's like, something happened. He's like, he had anger problems. Somebody did something, got mad. He threw a whole computer at him.
Jesus.
And she was like, you're not going to pass because of that reason. And I'm going to put you in another class. And so she just gave him the devil eyes every time she saw him.
Oh my God.
It sucked, but it was the same time, it was kind of funny that like your worst enemy was like a 6-year-old. I mean, not a 6-year-old. Oh, you are in 3rd grade? Like 8?
Yeah, or 9.
Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, as an 8-year-old just threw a computer at another kid. And I wish I was there to see it because I would have rooted him on.
It's insane. So he held back. Did they make him pay? Did his parents pay for the computer? I'm assuming.
I guess the reason he got held back because they didn't pay.
They
for
couldn't
the
pay for it. We can't pay for this. It's like okay, well I'm just gonna.
It was like 9 kids.
Hold your kid back then.
It was like
Fine.
it was one of those nuclear families that went nuclear. Literally, yeah. It was like 9 kids.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, do you care if I give your real name out?
No, it don't matter.
So it's Aaron.
Yeah.
For anybody wondering, it goes by Gatsby, which is interesting because that's your Instagram handle.
Yeah.
It's like PF Gatsby or something like that.
It's a funny my name has a funny thing to it, and my PF Gatsby has a funny thing to it. PF stands for puke face.
Oh wow!
Because I had throughout school, I always threw up a lot because I had what is it called? Acid reflux.
Okay.
So I couldn't help but like puke so much. So people were like, at one time, these girls like, "Oh my God, you got a puke face, dude," and I was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna keep that, thanks." And my name is, so when my mom had me, she had her epidural, I believe, and whatnot. She was so unconscious. She ended up naming me the wrong thing. So my initials end up coming out as ass.
Oh wow!
Yeah, my middle name starts with an S, and my last name starts with an S.
Dude,
So
you heard it here first on the Wrestling Diaries. Somebody with the initials ass.
So just want everybody to know, it's not a joke. The guy on the on the arcade who's like winning all the time.
Mm-hmm.
That's just me. It's not a game. It's not a joke people play. It's just I'm just putting my actual initials on there.
A.S.S.
Yeah, that's
Ass.
what's going on.
Dude, that is so funny. Are you an ass in real life?
Oh hell yeah, I do my best. I go out my way to make people feel upset.
Well, if your original first name was Jack, you'd be Jackass, right?
I was hoping that my mom had a sense of humor, but she doesn't.
But that's so funny. So you do music here in the Birmingham scene, Aaron. Tell us a little bit about that. How long have you been doing music?
Well,
and what do you do?
Well, at first, like when I fresh out of high school, I just started playing the guitar and bass just randomly. Matter of fact, I was known as the ghost of Jeff State because I was just there half the time. I went to school, but at the same time, I was just everybody catch me just playing the guitar, chilling out. And people were like, how long have you been here? I said, I don't know. So like, so people just started making up myths and stuff. I was like, yeah, I've been here for 45 years. Nobody recognizes
or you're not even real. You're a figment of their magic. You're like the ghost of Jeff State.
Yeah, the best part of
the phantom of Jeff State.
The best part about it was when somebody say something and it was like, oh, it's cool. Cause I come and visit everybody and talk to them and everybody just know me as a ghost for a while. Then like a lot of times my favorite thing was to do is like when they're talking to me and they turn to talk to somebody else, I just slowly duck under the desk. Like I wasn't there at all.
Yeah.
Most of the time. It's just like, it was crazy.
Where did you go to school at, man?
I went to school at most Basham schools. I went to Jonesboro, Davis before it got torn down. And
they tore down Davis? I didn't even realize.
Oh yeah, they turned into the rec center or something.
Oh, that's right. Because now they have like, is it Bessemer Middle School? I don't know what it's called.
I think it's like Bessemer. I don't know because I haven't been here in a minute. But I went to Just Lanier for like a year, then went to Bessemer City High.
Nice. Yeah, me and Matt here, the producer, we went to Greenwood Elementary, which is literally just down the road from where we're at.
I heard a lot of cool things.
Bessemer.
I heard a lot of cool.
We just gave away the location. Matt, edit that out. Gonna come for us. Yeah, we grew up, and I grew up on 19th Street in Bessemer. My mom still lives over there now.
That's crazy. I grew up on 18th Street.
Wow.
Yeah.
How about that?
Yeah, because of 18th Street, 15th Street, and Ash Avenue.
We potentially might have crossed paths as kids at one point and never knew.
Yeah, I'm a little bit older than you, so probably did walk past you a couple times.
That's so cool. So are you originally from the Birmingham area?
Yeah.
I'm assuming. And so you said you got into music right out of high school. You started playing guitar and bass, and then did you get into any bands or anything like that? Start playing shows?
No, not actually. At first, I just go around because I know what nothing was. I just go down to 5-1 South, play a little music, get paid a little bit by people, speak to people and stuff like this. Then after a while, the guy I'm in the band right now just had contact me on Facebook. Is that he looking for a bassist? I said, sure, I can do that. And so I started playing bass for him. His name's Todd. And part of the band I'm in right now, Millennium Gray. Check it out, Millennium Gray on Instagram. But yeah, he's like, I've been playing with him for the longest.
What kind of band is it, Millennium Gray?
A little bit of a alternative rock kind of ish.
Nice.
Rock. But I think we all play because I learned how to play drums recently. It just took 2 weeks. It's not that really hard of an instrument.
Wow. I still I've known of drums and tried to fiddle with them for many years and I still don't get them because I don't have rhythm.
Oh, it's not that it's not rhythm. It's more I just count it off in my head sometimes because I had the worst rhythm as a kid. But actually the first time I ever played the drums, I was like, I think I was 6 or 5 years old. And the music teacher's like, hey, do any kids know how to play instruments? And I was like, guess what I can do? And he was like, so what's up? Let me see it. Like I said, he put me on a drum set with all my confidence. I was like, yeah. And I played the most trash drum beat. It was so bad that he looked right through me. He was like, and he turned like at a full minute of looking at me, he turned this kid, say, hey, what else can anybody play? It's like, I have never been so destroyed in my life. He didn't even say like, no, that's awful. He was just like, ignored me for the whole year.
Yeah, I feel like it hurts so much worse that way.
Yeah.
It's like you do something and your parents aren't even mad at you. They're just disappointed. Oh, yeah. It hurts so much worse.
Oh, yeah. It's like that old fashioned grandma disappointment. You made the family weak.
You tarnished the family name. How could you?
The best part about it was so bad that everybody in the world ignored it. It's like,
oh, wow.
So like usually as a kid, people make fun of you about something, but it was so bad. People were like, nah. Let them keep that L for itself.
Damn. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Just walk around with your L. It's like your scarlet letter.
Yeah.
You're wearing your scarlet letter around. So people are like, oh, he's untouchable. Don't talk to him. Don't talk about it. It's out of sight, out of mind.
Yeah. When I was in high school, the coolest thing happened was everything was going crazy. And for some reason, some fight broke out, as it does in that school. But everybody got pepper sprayed.
Jesus.
It was awesome. Because it was awesome. I was the only one not pepper sprayed because I went down. I was downstairs while everybody was upstairs. So I just usually just walk around shit before the bus happens and stuff. I went upstairs and everybody was like coughing and crying and stuff. Police officers everywhere. I was like, man, it's crazy. The air smells spicy, but I'm gonna keep going. So got on the bus and everybody was crying and shit. He was trying to pour milk on their face. Like, damn.
Wow.
It's just, it's like, to me, it was worse than an accidentally bukkake scene, because you don't want it to happen, but you had too many guys around you at once and they were excited.
Mhm.
So all the milk was just over everybody's faces and stuff. People crying, pouring out of it, and just me just walking out jaunty, happy as fuck. It was like a jubilant situation. I was like, man, you know what? Being late is good.
Yeah, sometimes it is. I actually saw something not too long ago that Steve Harvey was saying there's like he was on his show, the Steve Harvey show, and he was like, oh, there's a scientific study that shows that people that are late live longer and have more success in life. And I was like, what?
I mean,
Get the F out of here, man.
I mean, think about it. If you're late for your own funeral, you're going to be fine.
Yeah, right. Because you're not dead.
Yeah.
Oh, I missed a flight. Oh, that's the flight that crashed. So how about that?
I mean, that's kind of the basis around what's the movie called? It's the basis around
Final Destination.
Yeah, that's the whole entire basis. Like you missing the bus.
Except that guy had like premonition powers or whatever. He could see into the future.
I mean, any of them at one time could just shot themselves and got over with it quickly, because everybody always died at the end.
That's right.
I mean,
even the main character guy.
Yeah, yes. And the last movie made me mad because it's like it's a cycle, and which confused me because all this stuff happened before, now this happened again. This seems like Delph is just pissed off for no reason.
Yeah, sure. They're like, oh, how dare you mess this up for me? This is my job. That's why it still comes for them, and there's all these crazy, wacky ways they come up with how people die. It's so ridiculous. So the name of your band, Millennium Gray.
Yeah.
Did y'all come up with that name?
Actually,
what's the origin story behind that, sir?
I do not actually know because it was called it before I joined in.
Oh,
yeah. So
okay.
You're gonna have to ask Todd when you get a chance to get a hold of him.
Todd is the gentleman who usually wears a hat. It's kind of beard and glasses. Okay, yeah. He's a cool cat.
Hey, he's pretty nice.
Talked to him at Little Italy a couple weeks ago.
Oh, he's pretty fun.
Yeah, seems like a cool guy. How long have you been in this band now?
About like a year, maybe year and a half.
And what do you do in the band again?
I'm the bass player.
Okay. Slap at the bass.
Yeah. Slap at the bass.
Good. So, do you have what's the inspiration behind you being in this band? Like, did you have a certain musical artist or rock band or musical act that you looked up to growing up with that you're like, oh man, this is why I want to get into music? This right here, or is it just random?
Actually, why I want to get into music was I didn't know what rock was until I turned, I guess maybe 12 or 10. I didn't know what rock music was, but I saw the song. Saw the song Clint Eastwood by the Gorillaz, and I was like,
okay,
it was great. Yeah. And then out of nowhere, I started hearing a lot from Green Day too. And at that moment, I was like, these guys got something going on I never heard about. So practically, it just started escalating from that. And I saw the Flea play the bass one time on the music Californication. I was like, how is he moving like that? Nobody else has seen him play the bass and jump around like that.
Yeah.
So it was like that moment right there. It's like, yeah, I'm going to be a musician. And I just went to my mom like, hey, Mom, I'm going to be a musician. She said, my mom don't believe in a lot of shit. My mom has a little amount of faith in me and most people.
That's good, man. Use it as a driving force.
Oh, yeah.
To keep you going. My mom's the same way. She's super. I mean, I love my mom, right? Love you, man. You know, if you ever listen to this, if she listens to this, she won't understand what's going on, anyways. But yeah, she's very she's a really hard worker. That's where I got my really ironclad work ethic from. But she's not a dreamer. She's not a pursuer of like more individual success. She's like kind of a soldier of the system, which is funny because she actually was a soldier. She was in the military.
Oh, that's true.
But yeah, she doesn't. And here's the thing: me and her talked about that. She was just like, well, I dreamed of having millions of dollars or traveling the world or doing this or doing that or starting a restaurant. The list goes on of like dream scenarios. And now she's kind of in a place in her life where she's like, well, she was like, I've got air in my lungs, food in my tummy. I got a house, cars. I'm good. Like, and I was like, oh, well, hey, yeah.
There's nothing wrong with being content.
But yeah, I'm very ambitious. I'm like the black sheep of my family when it comes to those kind of things. So like I'm a big dreamer. I'm also super ambitious. And yeah, we've always kind of butted heads that way. She's just, I don't know, wanted me to get a really good 9-to-5 job, do all these things and just kind of be in the system. And it's not my bag, man. And I learned that I mean, I used to be the manager of a doctor's office once upon a time. Yeah, believe it or not. I know this. Some people are like, whoa, really? Yeah. I was wearing the 3-piece suit and I was traveling around, going to seminars, listening to professors speak and on functional medicine and all this stuff. But, that all kind of went away and went swirling. And then I realized that like one day I was like, I lost short story to this is just the doctor I was working for, he sold his business and then I was just out. That was it. There was nothing, he was done with doing his practice and then he sold it. And then the doctor that came in had his own staff. And I was just like, oh, hey, thanks for helping me out all these years building my business up, but good luck with your future endeavors. Yeah. And then at that point I realized I was like, okay, I've been chasing the wrong thing. I've been chasing the wrong thing in life. Like I'm chasing after someone else's success. Yeah. And that's essentially what you do when you're like, and I get some flack from this because like the regular working man or woman, they're working hard and they're doing their jobs and stuff like that. And that's fine. And that's great, right? God bless them for it. But for me, it's just, I want to create I don't want it to be up to somebody else. Yeah. Right. Somebody's like, yeah, well, if you make your own business or you do this or you do that, like that's much harder and you can fail and then you'll have nothing. True. But you're not guaranteed the stuff that your 9-to-5 job now, right? Yeah. I heard a quote once. It went, the stuff you don't even like is not guaranteed and won't last for you. Yeah. So you might as well chase after the things you love instead. Yeah. I mean, so.
There's one hill I don't want to die on, just being a cog in a machine. Just
exactly.
Like, what's the point? Because at the end of the day, you're just going to complain about the stuff you didn't do.
Right. Like I always tell people, like, when you're on your deathbed, let's say you worked all your life for what's the company people work up in, Mercedes or some like that, right? And you work up and you're making $30 an hour. Woohoo! You got all this other stuff, but you worked like 70-hour weeks and you can only take your vacation like when they said you could. You got to work every 2 years. You get another week or some bull like that, and then you're on your deathbed, and that's all you ever did with your life was that. Like you spent time with your family and all that. Those good memories, but for the majority of the time, you just worked and you made lots of money. You have a nice house and you had a car and all this or whatever, good retirement for your family and whatnot. You can there's a lot of people. There's more people than not. They're going to be on their deathbed. This is my opinion, of course. So if you don't agree, that's fine. Awesome. But they're going to be on their deathbed being like, oh, I wish I would have went to Iceland and saw the Northern Lights or surfed in Australia or seen the Great Wall of China or any of these things, traveled the world. Or I wish, it was always my dreams to be a movie star. I wanted to be in a movie, or I wanted to start a band. I wanted to write poetry, whatever the it is, right? And those are the things they're going to sit in back, and those are the things they're going to be digesting while they're dying, right? And I was like, man, that kind of sucks, right?
Yeah.
Versus like if you're on your deathbed and somebody could say in the argument, like, oh, well, you could try all that other stuff and fail at everything. You failed at trying to be a race car driver or failed becoming a professional mountain climber or whatever it is, and you failed. Now you're on your deathbed thinking about how you failed. Well, maybe, but I feel like it's so much easier to digest, though. It's so much easier to swallow. It's like, yeah, you did fail, but you did do it also, right? So you did fail. Well, at least you tried it. So now you never keep wondering what if. And what if is a major poison that people drink every day. What if?
That woulda, coulda just always kills you.
Coulda, woulda, shoulda. Like, man, get that out of here, man. I'm so beyond that stuff.
I call it the 95 catch-22.
What's that?
It's basically like, you're making money to do the things you want to do, but you can't do it because you need to make the money to keep the things you want to do.
Right. Exactly.
So to keep everything afloat, you can't go do anything you want to do.
Yeah.
So you're stuck in a perpetual cycle of samsara. Like, it's hell.
Yeah.
No basis.
Yeah. And I honestly, I worked at a doctor's office. And even before that, I had a lot of opportunities in different companies I worked for to work my way up and all this stuff. So I could be somebody, right? And I could have finished school and got a master's or a bachelor's and a master's degree or whatever. But like at the end of the day, like I just like the things I want to do are the things I want to do. And even if I spend the rest of my life being a starving artist, then I'll starve happy. In the same sense of, I tell people you can work for somebody and it's like, oh, this is more guaranteed money than me starting my own business, right? Because that's so much harder and it takes money and effort and it's easier to fail that way than it is to just work for somewhere. True. But if you, like, I lost that job at the doctor's office, man, that wasn't up to me. I did an excellent job. I worked on my off days. It wasn't up to me at the end of the day. Right. And so I lost it and I had to live with that. Like somebody else had my livelihood in their hands and could do whatever they want with it. You know, it's like someone else taking your child from you and they're telling you what to do with your own kid, how to raise them and all this stuff. What? No, that's not how that works. But if you did your own thing, even if it failed, you can live with that so much better.
Yeah.
I think psychologically, I feel like there's like studies and stuff. I can't quote any of it, but
I think to me, I think it's the coward's way out. People live in such a callous way of going around it. It's like, well, this is what they did, so why don't we do it? No, this is not how it works. Your life is your life alone.
Mm-hmm.
The best thing for you to do is just live like in the best way you can. Because like you're doing right now is amazing. Just taking your time to come to your dreams. You got things that people only dream about trying. Because everybody else like, I would have did this, but I couldn't. Because this is just excuses.
They always make
yeah. Everybody's so fond of the excuses that make them so comfortable. It's like I gotta like I usually get things out of nowhere and just give them away because I don't need it.
Mm-hmm.
Like my cousin, shout out to Deuce right now, but he just graduated.
Deuce.
He just graduated from college, and he didn't have to. In a sense, in my opinion, like he'd been there for a while. He could have just dropped out, but no, he committed to it, and that's something he wanted to do. Like, and also, I think it's just this weird concept. People feel like they only can do one thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's not something you're not built around. You can breathe, you can talk at the same time, you can do a lot of things. Why can't you do more?
Yeah, exactly.
If you're living your life, don't put yourself in a small circle or a box. The whole entire thing is to open the box out and just play around with it. It doesn't matter. People think so much about how they look around others instead of what they look to themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just a weird concept that everybody has embroiled inside a system from school. Just everybody's so used to being looked at in school by other people and stuff like that. They live through a weird complex like that everybody has to see them.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I piggybacking on that. I saw a podcast actually with Snoop Dogg on it, and the guy interviewing him was like, Snoop, you do everything, man. You got your own wine, candy bars, and you're still doing music. Now you're producing music, and you're like, he's like coaches some sports team or does something like that. And he does commercials. He has sponsors. He just does so many different things. He's like, man, you just do everything. You've got all these different jobs and all this stuff, man. And then Snoop literally responds, he's like, man, I just do what makes me happy, yo. That's what I do. Like I'm doing a terrible job trying to imitate his voice. He's like, he was like, I just do what I do. I just do what makes me happy. And he's like, I've always done that from the beginning. Like, as it started out with rap music that makes me happy.
Yeah.
I have fun. It makes me happy. And I found a way. He's like, I found a hack somehow. He's like, and I can't tell you how, because you're an individual. You got to figure it out yourself.
Yeah.
But I found a way to make a living off of the things that I get joy from. He's like, that's all I do. He's like, even stuff now, he's like, anything you see me represent or some company I start or some brand I promote or whatever, it's because I like it. He's like, he's like, I ain't going to touch any project or any like job or gig or any of the stuff that I don't like.
Yeah.
He's like, it's because I like it and I have fun with it. And that's why I do it. And he's like, that's what life's all about. He's like doing stuff that makes you happy and finding a way to live off of that. However, by any means, you know, of course, within reason, as long as it's not hurting somebody else.
True.
But yeah, I feel like people have a duty to do that. And, you know, if working at like Walmart, you know, checking people out or being a supervisor or something like that, if that's what makes you happy, then good, right? Because your happiness it's infectious. It radiates from you, you know, and people pick that up, right? Like you know, like you ever around somebody that's really happy and like it makes you kind of peps you up. If you're around somebody else like, oh, yeah, man, life is terrible. And it's just all the time. That stuff eventually starts like you wipe your brain on their ass. Yeah. And it starts like, so
like we're really sponges when it comes to those type of things.
Sure. Yeah. 100%. Even the best fall down, right? Even if you're very strong-minded or strong-willed, it doesn't matter. It still influences you. That's why sometimes if you're around someone that's just super duper negative or the exact opposite mindset of you, then you should probably get away from those people. Oh yeah. Peoples, whatever.
It's like some people call them vampires or whatnot.
Psychic vampires. Yeah. A friend of mine was like messing with me once, said that because I was like being introverted about stuff. And they're like, oh, we're going to go to this party. I was like, oh, I just don't want to. I'm not going to do that. Like, well, do you want to like invite people over? And I was like, oh, I don't want to do that either. She's like, oh my God, you're a psychic vampire. It makes your mood's affecting my mood. And then that makes me more depressed that you are having an effect on me.
It really gets like, sometimes you just can't help it. Like, it's like, this is not my time today. Cause usually when people are like, I'm getting a bum mood, I was like, yo, I'm feeling kind of like right now. I'm gonna come out, but I'm not gonna say. And it's like, and after a while, I'll get enough energy to do stuff. Like, yo, I'm living right now.
Yeah.
Like, just sitting around not doing nothing, it's just lying to yourself right there. Personally, it's just because I come from like depression runs in my family and stuff. But if you just want to sit down alone in the house, I mean, more power to you, but don't expect it's going to make you feel better.
Right. Yeah, I think we owe it to ourselves too to kind of get away some, no matter how much of a social butterfly you are, just to kind of like decompress from the world and from people and from information.
Yeah.
Right now, we're just an information overload with everything. So I feel like it's good to kind of get alone. I mean, this is my opinion. Maybe it's not the same for everybody, but I've found that when I'm in, I guess, an ambivert, right? Sometimes I'm very sociable, and then other times I'm reclusive. Like, I don't want to be around people. I don't want to hear noise. I don't want to hear voices. I want to be trapped in my head with my own thoughts and my own little bubble.
So you're normal.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. But yeah.
The odd part is that we're all looking for labels. It's such a funny concept when you think about it. Like,
teams. Everybody wants to be on some, got to be on some kind of team.
Yeah, it's weird. Like, everybody's such into the emotional society of football games and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and like they're happy about it. Well, I'm super always high energy. Yeah, dude, you need to chill out. Well, I'm always down, no energy. Yeah, you need to get a pep up or something, dude.
Yeah.
You just, sometimes it's just all about balance.
Sure, yeah.
And like, just being happy that you're a certain words called ways. It's like, there's nothing wrong with it, but like, why broadcast such a negative point about yourself?
Yeah, I used to be like that. I used to be so into Alabama football. Roll Tide, roll. I still am. I'm still an Alabama fan. Still have the T-shirt. Still can go to a game here and there if I can. Watch it on TV. But I mean, I used to be so into it. Like they would lose or something. I would get mad. I would get like anxiety.
Yeah.
Nervous, and I punch the wall or throw some across the room or like get into an argument with somebody. And I'm like, and then like one day I kind of like snapped out of it. I was like, what is this? Like, I don't even go to this school. I'm not even out there playing. Like, I guarantee you, me or a lot of other people are getting more upset about it than those damn football players are.
Yeah.
Some of them. And I was like, that's horrible. That's like a psychological issue.
Yeah.
Right? You're getting that mad. You're not even doing it.
Yeah.
You're not even. That'd be like you listening to somebody on stage playing guitar and then they mess up a note, a chord. And you're like, oh, what the f***? You messed up the chord. But you're a fan of theirs, right? And you're like, you messed the chord up. You messed up that G. You were supposed to play the G and an A. What is he doing? I can't believe it. And you're getting so wigged out as if they like you were the one playing the guitar.
It's like,
that's crazy. If you think about
like,
it. Crazy.
How they get upset is the equivalent of you just walking off stage and punching their mom in the face. It's like, it's like, whoops, my bad. Just sock somebody's mom.
Which I don't recommend, ladies and gentlemen.
Don't do it. But it's just like, it's the amount of emotion they put towards it. Like, you offended them.
And here's the thing. I'm still a sports fan. I love football and baseball, and I keep up some certain teams. But it's really, at the end of the day, it's really not that deep for me. It's really not. I trolled your buddy Anna Hope about baseball and stuff like that, and now she constantly sends me all this bull about the Mets and how good they're doing, and I love it. I eat it up. I think I sent her a message. I was like, I love living rent free in your head about this stuff because I'm a Braves fan, but also I don't.
Just talk around like I know Cubs going to win this World Series. She's going to lose.
Well, the Cubbies are winning again, Anna. Watch out for them. I like it. I played baseball in school, so it's not that big of a deal. I just realized I get it. It's traditional. It's fun. It's fun to be part of a group, and it's fun and all that. But also at the end of the day, it's like it's not. It's just a game.
Yeah.
Right. You shouldn't like betray your brother or your friend for something that's so trivial. You know what I mean?
I broke many windows playing baseball. It's great.
Like, okay, actually playing it? Yeah.
Oh,
me
no.
too.
Not with the ball.
Oh.
I have butterfingers, and it was such a good time.
I was practicing pitching in my earlier days when I was in Little League. I was pitching. And, I wasn't pitching. I played like shortstop and outfield. But I was just practicing my pitching. And then I just tossed this ball right into my brother's like window, his bedroom window, just smashed.
Yeah.
And then I remember my sister, like this house had a couple of levels.
Yeah.
And then she's peeking her head out of the top level, the second floor of the house. And she's like, what did you? Oh, and I was like, no. And she was like, nope, you stand right there. Don't move. I want you to stand right there. I'm going to come down there and take a picture of you because I'm going to show mom that you broke this window.
Like that doesn't prove anything, but all right.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Good old sport. I mean, I love sports and all this other stuff, but some people take it too serious.
Yeah.
It's like church.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
They're it's, you know, they don't think about it, but man, they worshiping out there. People do the same thing with politics.
Oh yeah. I
Politics and just all that other bullshit.
This is why I'm known like an ass because whatever somebody pick on, I pick the other side. I know both sides clearly well.
You know what? I do that sometimes too.
It's
even if
hilarious.
if it's like here's a perfect example of that. Like I'm an Alabama fan, right?
Yeah.
But I will troll Alabama fans with Auburn stuff or whatever just to see how weak they are. See how easy it is to just make them lose it. And then I'll be like, I'm an Alabama fan, ass.
That's the best part about being like you be a fan of it because you know all their stats and you just need a few of the other stats just to a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. It's just interesting how people marry themselves. If people expended the same amount of energy into football or politics or any of these other things that everybody has to be on some team, some color, some whatever, into like doing other things, being more productive, they would have so much success in life. They would build bridges. They'd cure cancer. You know, there'd be so many awesome inventions.
I think the reason why people don't do it just because it's an escapism in its own right. People like to look for things. So
yeah, I get it. I use a lot of different things for escapism myself.
Oh, I love
a lot of entertainment, show business, love that. Music, movies, books. Yeah, I get it. You know, it's each to his own.
I didn't really do much sports as a kid, for real, because like I slept a lot. I had like a sleeping disorder, but
oh really?
Yeah, I had like hyper narcolepsy, something like that. I can't remember what it's called, but
hyper narcolepsy. Narcolepsy?
Yeah, something like that. I just always sleep during any moment. One time, my teacher's like, "You want to go to sleeping class? Just stand up." Then it's like, "Sure, why not?" And I fell asleep standing up, and he was mad, but like I didn't know what to tell him. I was still went to sleep. I can do that stuff, and everybody was like, "Oh, he's so asleep. Why he's doing that?" I was like, "Yeah, fuck, nap anytime you want me to. It's not a game."
Wow, man.
But
That's
I
hilarious.
did do weird kid. Like,
did you take medication for that? For the
kind of, sort of. Like they did and they didn't.
Did they diagnose you? Like you went to a doctor and they diagnosed you?
Yeah, it's like.
Is it still rampant now?
Nah, no? Not really.
Kind of grew out of it.
Yeah, they had to fix my circadian rhythm up. Really.
Okay.
It finally fixed out at the age of like 25, but then.
Sometimes it happens. You know, like kids get diagnosed with like ADD or ADHD, and then it just. A good friend of ours, actually, mine and Matt's, he had ADHD growing up. I remember because I've known him since third grade. And when he was a kid, I remember him just being like, I was a kid too. So I was hyper and doing as well. But I just remember like, man, this guy is a lot to deal with. I don't know if I want to be his friend anymore. He's just too much. It turns out he had ADHD. And he took medication, but he didn't always take it. And he just grew out of it. He just stopped. I remember like we were like, I don't know, maybe 17, 18, something like that. Yeah. And I remember being like, hey, do you remember how you had like ADHD and all that? And you were taking meds for it because you were real hyperactive? And he's like, yeah. I was like, what happened to that? You just don't. He's like, I don't know, man. I was like, did the medicine like cure you? He's like, I don't think so. He's like, I just stopped taking it because I didn't want to take it all the time. And I would take it here and then skip a day and then take it. He's like, I was never like constant. Well, maybe in the beginning I was constant with it. My mom was reminding me, but you know, as I got older and it was up to me to take it as a teenager, I was just like, oh, he's like, I don't really, I was like, that's crazy. You just kind of like outgrew it.
I think he's balanced himself out after a while. Like,
well, I've heard like some theories that some of these, that I don't know how much I believe it, but like ADD or ADHD might not even be real like medical symptoms. It might just be kids. This is just what kids do. This is how kids are. And what are they eating and what are they doing? Like that might have something to do with it. A hormone profile. I think that would be the only thing that would explain why some people grow out of it, right? They have a diagnosis because like when he had it, like he was supposed to like take this medication till now, like for the rest of his life, right? As a grown man, even now, because he started taking it when he was like 10 or something, but he stopped taking it when he was like 14.
What?
And
it kind of shifts because my brother has. It's like at first he was just all up into shit, and then he got a certain age. It's like he just can't focus for real. Back then he had all the energy to move, do all this. Yeah, came up with plenty of ideas and stuff. Is because me and my brother are the antithesis. We're like opposites, but we're still the same thing. We even look exactly alike.
Okay,
Just that he's a little darker, but so like segue is pretty funny. Like my brother had ADHD. I didn't. Just he came with an idea, and I just had to display it out for everybody. It's like when we he didn't learn how to talk until we were 5, but I had to like explain what he was saying to everybody to a certain point. But the best part was like he'll come up with any outrageous idea, and I just had to make it work.
Yeah.
So one day we were watching this it was some movie with Jackie Chan or something.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and he had in the movie had to jump out the airplane.
Yeah,
like that. No, it was a hot air balloon he had to jump out of. I can't remember what the one is, but he was wearing he broke some ribs when he did it. But my brother was like, "We should do that." I was like, "Cool." What's that? He's like, "How are we going to do this?" I said, "Well, we have blankets." So we live in a 2-story house.
Yeah.
So we climbed to the top of the house, tied the blankets on our wrists and ankles. I was like, "Is this going to work?" He's like, "I don't know." And we just jumped off the roof. And
wow,
you float for 3 seconds and then you hit the ground. So we go out for a little bit. It's like, but since we were kids, it didn't hurt. It's like, man,
yeah,
that was cool. Let's do it again. So we were just running back and forth into the house, jumping out the window, back and forth.
Yeah, I would do that with trash bags.
Yeah,
my sister's roof.
And my mom happened to drive by, and she was like, "What the hell are you guys doing?" In the middle of jumping out the window.
It's so funny. That's hilarious, dude. So back to the ADD, ADHD, and those. I don't think that they don't. I mean, there probably is certain like diagnoses that are just bullshit, just like created for people to sell pharmaceutical drugs. But for some of them, where they're like, oh, it's like for ADD or ADHD. I think it's potentially probably is like a real thing. But what happens is like some kids or people get misdiagnosed with it. Maybe they just are a little hyper, a little bit of something, or maybe it's something else, and they misdiagnose them. That's why they potentially grow out of it or what have you.
I guarantee that's the truth. Because a lot of times doctors get tired, and just like everybody else, they spend their time like always seeing something. So now they're going to believe every time they see something, that's what it is. Yeah. But more often than not, you're not there all the time with the kids, so you don't really see them actually showing displacement.
True. And then also here's another thing too. It could be absolutely 100% real as well. And then your body just changes. You get older, not genetics, but like your biology kind of changes itself, or your body self-heals or something. Who knows? I don't know. I'm not a doctor, so
your brain constantly grows when you're a kid. It's a chemical change.
Yeah, right.
So probably something around teenagers that actually change the situation, because let's just say, because it's relatively new, but not really. It's just everybody had it a long time ago, but they didn't have enough time to do things like that. Yeah. But like, it's like how depression has gotten even bigger than it was back then, because we're so domesticated. Like back then, forum days, we always had something to do. Depression really comes from like the lack of stuff, and you have too much stuff. Yeah. Now you have options, opinions, stuff like you just can't really handle all that at one time.
Sure. Mr. Aaron, PF Gatsby, what do you wrestle with, dude? What are the monsters on your bed and in your closet?
I would say I wrestle with monsters in my closet and whatnot and under my bed, but I don't, because it's so much clothes cluttered everywhere. I do not clean.
Oh, I thought you were about to say you don't wrestle with anything in life because of the power of powers.
Yeah, I wish I could.
Matt gets that inside joke. Anyways, we had a guy from Indy on here who said he didn't wrestle with anything because of the power of powers. Anyway, go ahead.
I wrestle with depression and stuff, but I started taking my medicine seriously, so I don't really wrestle with stuff. Like I had just like major depression since like kindergarten and stuff like that. I had wrestled with that a lot, but since I started taking my medicine on constant, I just do more stuff, because it's self-depression is just like being stuck in a small catacomb and then get out. But if you start moving, you'll do something. It's depression just lying to yourself, to me. It's like from playing the drums. My whole entire week takes working 2 different jobs, playing the guitar, the bass, the drums, then like another job possibly, and going to the next little Italy's. You can't really be that depressed when you're doing something, because your mind has time to actually focus on yourself. Depression itself just attacking things that are not exactly there. I mean, sometimes, because some people actually have it really worse.
Yeah.
But when people are stuck in that loop, just like, I probably should just be here, I shouldn't do nothing and stuff like this, it's not going to make you feel better.
Right.
So it's like, to me, it's just like a lot of times, most problems are small if you don't do nothing about it. You just allow them to seem big. The biggest thing in the world you should do is allow yourself to do something.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody has the excuse like it's somebody else's fault or it's my fault or it's something like this. Accept it. Like maybe it's somebody else's fault. Maybe it's your fault. You need to accept these things. If you want to move on and actually do something in life, accept it. Like, for example, like it's the biggest kryptonite to the woulda coulda shit. Like, accept the idea that it's your fault or you didn't want to do nothing about it. When you start accepting things, you start moving on. Sometimes it's hard. Sometimes, like, man, I let her go. Well, good. Probably doing the work for you. Maybe she's want to get away. Maybe she is. It doesn't matter. If you're going to accept that, if you don't accept it, then you don't move on. Because you're going to cry over somebody for so long, then you really become the loser that you think you are. There's no real problem about it. Everybody makes things too big that they have to be. If you really want to move on in life, you just accept it. It's like, hey, that sucked. Well, I'm not going to lay down and mope about it. I mean, I cry for a bit and then get up. Nothing wrong with that. Because people feel like, because you know, those same type of people goes out that way, just always have the same story. Like, oh man, this happened. Yeah, that's a good story. Yeah, that happened. But what you doing now? No, I still haven't healed from this, and it's been 10 years.
Yeah.
I know one guy who's been complaining about stuff like 14 years ago. It's like, yo, you're an adult now. What else you been up to?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I can't do nothing because can't do nothing because you don't want to do nothing. Don't use it as a crutch. Just use it as like something to push you forward. You don't want to be in that spot the rest of your life. It's just a weird, and it's so many people that's like that feel as if, and that's why I think it really comes along the situation you're talking about. The same people who like, you shouldn't do the stuff you right there for yourself right there because you can fall off, are the same people who fell off and chose to stay in that situation. I think it's really ironic to think that they're just like, don't do this, something like, here, you should be in this situation and make yourself feel mopey like I am. Why? Like if you sat down and just moped about you lost your job, you wouldn't have this. This is cool as hell. I watch a few of your shows. You are very like a big intellectual about these things. You're insightful, and I'll shout out to Matt. Matt's pretty dope too. Can't be making it happen without Matt. Right. But it's just amazing how you sit there and it's like a big contrast and complementary thing we do, and you let everybody on speak their thoughts and stuff. It's pretty dope. But if you would have just sat there and just not do anything, this whole entire baby idea would just be one of those things like, hey man, we should have did this or something like that. It's a bad habit. People love that habit though. There's more people who won't be successful, not because they don't have the abilities or talent, it's because they choose not to do it. Every day there's just gonna be somebody like, man, I'm doing 9 to 5. I hate it. You don't have to. There's plenty of other options. Well, this is the only way I can make this happen. No. I do 3 to 2 jobs every day. I don't even get tired. I still have enough time to play drums, stuff like this. Because if I would get tired, there's excuses. I wake up and go to work at 4 in the morning and go to the next job, then go to the next, then go sleep around 12 o'clock. Get up and do the same thing over again. I don't get exhausted. I don't get tired because I know what I want to do. Mm-hmm. Everybody's just feeling like it's not complicated. If you want something you want to do, then do it. If you like somebody, then go out them. If they don't like you, the worst possible thing they can do is shoot you in the chest.
Right.
Yeah. So like,
shoot you in the chest with a gun.
Yes.
I said no. I don't want to go out to dinner. Bang bang.
Yeah, that's the worst possible outcome because then you die. It's not a big deal. Like, yeah. And even then, when you're in the hospital bleeding out, just realize that you took a chance.
Why do you have such this such positive outlook on life? Why do you have this like take your existence by the balls type of attitude? Why are you so positive?
Honestly, it's not positive. It's just common sense. Like people, like for example, everybody asks why I'm so happy and stuff like that. No, I'm not. It's common sense. The idea that you have to see things like this is ridiculous. Everybody's looking for these pep talks. It's not really a pep talk. It's just like, to me, it's equivalent that an apple is red. or green and something like that.
Wow.
It's not positivity. It's just common sense.
That's the way you see the world in your head?
Yeah.
Wow. You're an interesting person, man.
Oh, thank you.
Very interesting creature indeed.
Yeah, I eat chocolate on half days.
A desert rose. All right, now we're done. Oh my God. I hope you enjoyed being on the show, man.
Oh, it was great.
Before I sign us off, I want to ask you to close your eyes for me. I like doing this. Is probably the third time I've done this specific one.
Right.
And imagine like whatever life you think you could dream up for yourself, or whatever world it is you want to create, or whatever world it is you want to live in. What does that look like to you?
Well, it's funny. The sky is purple and everything else is normal. But I'm just sitting in the lake house, chilling out, fishing with other fishes. It's just like the whole entire world is just calm, collected, chill. And it's like a Dr. Seuss book. It's just chilling out. Nothing has reason, but everything has a responsibility to itself. It's pretty nice.
Hell yeah, brother. That's awesome. You're going to play some music for us before we go, right?
Yeah.
Cool. Thanks for being on the show, brother.
Anytime.
Appreciate it, man. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed this episode. We have Mr. Aaron Stewart here, Gatsby. Check him out on PF Gatsby. Oh, actually, before I go, let me turn it back over to you. Let me get you to plug in your band, your social medias, and any of those other things, and your creative projects you got going on.
All right. I'm Gatsby, and you can come check out my pictures I draw and stuff. Sometimes I do commissions. It's PF Gatsby at Instagram. And I play in a band called Millennium Gray. And I'm going to be doing another band recently once I get stuff together. It's called the Broken Heart Heartbreakers Club. It's me and Maui. And Maui is really awesome. If you get the chance to see him play the guitar, I don't know his Instagram handle at the moment, but some call him Mark. But please check him out if you get a chance. That's probably plugged, and I'll send you the link of them later.
Nice. Oh, also before we go, one more. I already said one more, but we're gonna do one more again because it's my show. I can do whatever I want, ladies and gentlemen. How would you're gonna remember this one? How would you describe music to a blind person that never heard it before?
It was deaf, but okay. All right.
Oh, my bad. Deaf. Matt, can we cut that out? No, it's fine.
Right.
How would you describe music to a blind person? A deaf person. That was the better one.
Okay.
This is why you asked the question and I didn't.
All right. How would I describe music to a deaf person?
Yeah.
What's the best tasting thing you ever had? Now imagine it reverberating to your hands. Then there you have music.
Sweet. That's awesome.
All right.
That's so hilarious. I was like, I can't believe I completely butchered that. That's good. Ladies and gents, thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Wrestling Diaries. Like I said, Mr. PF Gatsby here. Check out his band. Check out him. All this stuff. Hope you enjoyed this episode. Hope you enjoy our content. As always, go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. Video content on both Spotify and YouTube. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Hit the notification bell for more content. We release once to twice a week. Final thoughts on the episode. Let me think about this. We talked about a lot of things, like not even so. I like what he said. He talked about, like, I was like, why are you so positive? Why is glass half full? But he said it's not even like that for him. It's just common sense. Just do things. Just get stuff done. Like, I feel like that's a really great, it's like, use a dog for an example. Like when a dog has a goal, when they're trying to get something, a bone, or try to get out of the yard or whatever, they don't bitch and, I mean, they can't, but they wouldn't if they could, because their mind's not set up that way. They just do whatever they got to do to be successful, and they just keep going. And that's the way he looks at it. It's a very interesting way to look at that. It's not about being positive or living dreams. It's just doing things and being happy and not making excuses and walking around with like more than two crutches and you only have two legs. And I think, that's really important for you to just, people deal with depression and other issues, sure. And it's sad. And, I'm not trying to sugarcoat or layer over the top of that. People have legitimate medical issues, but not everybody. And some people really aren't really pushing themselves. And I think, like, to just push yourself. Just do something, right? Do the things and they will be done. That's it. Sorry that wasn't more overly poetic, but that's just how it is. So hope you enjoyed this episode. Hopefully there were some really good points you could take away from it. Something for you to marinate on, to sleep on, have a drink on. Cheers. What do you wrestle with and how can you beat it? One love.